to the Rugby Connection podcast by the fans for the fans. Now, this podcast episode is brought to you by our new partner, Looseheadz. Looseheadz are a rugby mental health charity that aim to tackle the stigma and hopefully lead every rugby club around the world and equip them with a toolkit to aid for men's mental health and women's mental health. We bring this episode to you by Looseheadz. We've got these lovely t-shirts, and anyway, we'll go on to this week of rugby. We've gone back to club rugby. It's obviously a Six Nations break. We have got the man, the myth, the legend, aka Blissful Rugby HQ, Murray.
Hey, I don't know if you're on about me there until you said the Blissful Rugby thing.
And then we've got Cam. Anyway,
that's harsh.
It happens every week. Anyway, should we go on? We'll start with the Premiership, should we?
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah, I mean, there's some score.
Right. Let's just go through the scores one by one.
Yeah.
There are two games that come to mind, but we'll get to them in a minute. Friday night. Oh my God. Bristol 62, Northampton Saints 8.
Yeah.
Bristol's greatest ever win in the Premierships, hammering in 9 tries for a record Premiership win for the Bears.
I mean,
how did that happen?
I know how it happened. One man, Charles Piatow.
Oh my God.
Goose, grubber, try.
That dirty try.
We move on to Saturday, where Leicester got the better of Bath, 48-27. Good high score. And then the big game 14, it was delayed because of train strikes, but we finally had it at Twickenham. Harlequins beat Exeter 40-5. Marcus Smith, man of the match performance. What else can you say? Quins at their finest.
You didn't win both the big games, so.
Oh no. Our ladies took a bit of a hammering. I think it was 54-26 from Exeter. Anyway, we go on to Sunday. London Irish went to Kingston Park and came out with a humongous W, 34-19. And Sale Sharks got the better of Saracens, 35-24. Now, gentlemen, as much as I'd like to talk about one game, I think we've got to focus on Bristol Saints.
Who saw that coming?
I mean, listen, Saints are a good side. Let's be realistic here.
Yeah.
How on earth have they just lost to Bristol?
Not even just lose to Bristol.
Like they lost to Bristol.
I'll reiterate this. After this round, Bristol sit in 9th and Saints sit in 4th.
Yeah. What a win.
You would not believe your eyes if you saw this.
Wait a minute. Can I just give high praise to whoever does the social media side of Bristol Bears? They put up the nice graphic of the score with the caption, "Quiet night, you."
Anyway, so I guess should we start naming off some players? I want to name off one. Harry Randall.
Oh, so good.
Oh, what did he get? 2 tries?
Yeah, 2 tries. But oh my word, he's a little machine, isn't he?
He is.
And I mean, I guess maybe it's a bit of a miss not having England, not being in the England squad. He's just got to show what he can do.
And I am right in saying he was the one who finished off that wonder try.
Mm-hmm.
He did, yes. Just going off the man that set it up, Charles Piatow. I'm just looking at his stats for the game. They don't make sense. He made 93 metres. He only played 53 minutes.
Oh my word.
What's that? That's almost 2 meters per minute of the game he made.
93 metres, 12 carries, 3 passes, a tackle, and a try assist.
It was let's talk about that try assist. It was just outrageous composure and skill.
I think I put it as the caption on the video I did of it. It was like spin, step, goose, grubber, try.
Have you ever seen
No.
After the break, the goose, everything. Have you ever seen a more perfect grubber in your life?
No.
I think the words to describe it is just naughty, really.
It's very
Like,
naughty.
You know, it's on a Friday night. This is not for kids we're talking about here. This is
No, this
is
is
some proper
18
stuff.
plus restricted content. This is some premium stuff.
So I'm guessing
100%.
with just how we're talking about it. Is it trial of the season?
Ooh.
Well, it could be, you know.
Just for Prem anyway. Just for Prem.
I want to say so. So I do think it was.
There's
I
two,
think
there's two in contention just this weekend alone, but we'll get into that in a little bit.
I think if he went on and scored the try himself, it would have still been a brilliant try. But the fact that it's the grubber makes it for me.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
But yeah, I can see it.
You know what? I feel like we've given Bristol their praise. I don't think there's anything we can say about Northampton there. So let's just move on. We've got time to talk about another game just briefly. So Murray, I think it's only right we talk about
Only right.
the beautiful win that Harlequins took over Exeter in the big game.
Didn't start too well though.
You know what? But just before you get into it, Hard, because I know you'll be a lot happier than I am.
Oh mate,
I'm going to steal a little thing from the Exeter socials side of things. Not fair play, Quince. They were right up for it. They were ready to go. Chiefs were not. Ollie Woodburn, I think, put out the best caption ever I've ever seen. You'll need to go on his Instagram. I can't remember it off by heart. And he's like, talk about the worst day ever. And it's basically just naming everything that could go wrong. I don't know if that all actually happened, but some of the ones that you'll need to go on his Instagram and just read it out. Because it's like, car breaks down, girl leaves you, the kids don't wake up, and stuff, and it just keeps going.
It's Christ.
that is.
And it just deeps in, and then like Jack Noel apologised to the Chiefs fans. Yeah, it was just all very apologetic.
But we won't stay on here for much longer, but I will ask you guys one question.
Yes.
What did Caden Murley need to do to prove himself in the England squad?
You have to say the same for Marcus Smith. A week after being dropped.
So I think Marcus has proved himself. I think Borthwick just wanted him to get a full 80 during the Six Nations period.
So.
I fully respect it, and I know Marcus is going back to the camp this week.
But there's definitely a spot for Murley in that England starting team, in my opinion.
I think Murley's been one of the best wingers in the Prem over the last 2 years.
Yeah, I think that's a fair enough statement to make.
He is on. I'm just going to double check because I don't want to get it wrong. But like his stats this season are ridiculous, and we talk about them every week. And I feel like there's only so long we can keep mentioning them.
Exactly, and I do feel almost gutted for him that we haven't been able to see him fully in England shirt. But we won't gloss over anymore. I have got some predictions to make with you guys.
Yep.
We do have Prem next week, but obviously it'll be overshadowed by Six Nations, but we'll still make Prem predictions. Northampton Bath on Friday night.
Bath. Do it now. Get them while they're down.
Saints are going to be hurting. Saints are going to be hurting, and I think they're going to beat Bath by. I think it's going to be a bit of a. I think it's going to beat Bath by 15 points.
I'm still going to say Saints. Saints by 7. Right. Exeter versus Newcastle.
Back your team. Exeter, they're going to be hurting as well. Exeter by 6. There we go. Done. Exeter by 6.
Yeah, Chiefs by 10.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, Chiefs by 8. I don't see anything else. We have Irish versus Sharks.
Sharks by 8. Yeah, that's fair.
Irish by 5.
No, I'm going to Sharks by 12.
Oh, what did Irish do for you?
Gloucester play Leicester.
Oh, that's going to be a juicy game. I'm going Gloucester by 9. Yeah, go for a big one.
I'm going to go Tigers by 12.
I'm going to go Leicester by 8. And finally, we have Bristol hosting Harlequins.
Woo!
Is it Bristol all over again, Harv?
Yeah, we're gonna win by 6 in the last minute. I don't know if they can do extra time in the regular season, but they can now.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
say Quins by 5.
So I'm going to say Bears by 3, just because I want to see them back that victory up. But it will be Quins by 12, probably.
Okay, fair enough. Right, should we head over to the United Rugby Championship?
Yes, please, because this has been a hell of a weekend.
It has been a good weekend, and we actually start off with some hell of a game between Munster and Scarlets. Munster
What a game.
at Thomond Park, 49-42.
91
Oh my
classic. Love it.
Glasgow beat Zebre 50-8.
Johnny Matthews might make history.
Stormers beat Sharks. Cam, are you listening? Stormers beat Sharks 29-23. Lions beat the Bulls 29-25. Leinster hammer Edinburgh 47-27. Benetton beat Ospreys by a point 21-20.
Come on, Benetton.
Ulster get the better of Cardiff 42-20, and Connacht just edge over the Dragons 22-20. Lads, I think there's only one game we can talk about here.
Munster Scarlets.
Munster Scarlets. I mean,
what a game.
First of all, an insane first half from Munster. I mean, they looked like they were non-stop.
Yeah.
It was
four tries by Munster in the first half.
Yeah. And then one right at the end by Roberts for Scarlets. It was the absolute cliche of a game of two halves.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you know, we're talking 35-7 in the first half to Munster, 35-14 to Ospreys in the second. I'm not sure where Ospreys came out of. Unfortunately,
Scarlets.
Oh yeah, Scarlets, isn't it? Ospreys will never be this good. Anyway, well, they just lost to Benetton. So anyway, right, sorry, yeah, Scarlets. I mean, 35-14 in the second half, just shy of a drawing try. I mean, how can you get? I don't think I'll see a better game in URC this year.
What the thing is, the first half I thought, Christ, because Scarlets were 6 from 6 this year. They were on brilliant form. Yeah. And then this game started, and I was like, at halftime, I was like, right, Scarlets have just regressed to last year's form. Then I don't know what Dwayne Peel said in the changing rooms to those boys. But my God, that second half was probably one of the best halves of rugby I've seen in a long time. Just pure attacking rugby. Via Fafita, what a player.
Yeah, he's special. Yes.
He gets talked about for his ill discipline, but that guy, for a loose forward, has the pace of a winger.
It's almost a cheat code, isn't it? But yeah.
It is. Sam Lousy as well. He scored a try. Just one try, yeah. Tom Rogers scored the last try.
I mean, I wouldn't go without mentioning anyone from Munster as well. So I think they're actually missing a try on my app. No, they're not. Sorry, I wasn't looking correctly. Nash with a double and Daly with a double as well. Campbell, Patterson and Gavin Coombs make up the rest of the scores. Carberry, I believe, was 100% from the tee as well.
100% kicking for the whole game.
I've got a question. It's similar to what Harb asked me about Caden Murley. What does Gavin Coombs have to do to get into an Ireland team?
I will say
with the likes of Mac Hansen and James Lowe there.
I can't lie. I almost don't think that
Gavin Coombs is number 8 thumb.
There we are. Caelan Doris there.
Yeah, but I have to say, I mean, I do think that Ireland are so strong at the moment.
They're stacked. Absolutely stacked.
I couldn't see anyone creeping into the team at the moment. I do honestly think Ireland have.
No,
I'm not saying it's a team, but they do have almost the best resources out there.
I'm not bashing them in any way, but it just feels like Jack Connor's just kind of went flat, and Gavin Coombs is knocking at the door, and Andy Farrell's just like, yeah, cool, whatever, mate. Do you?
You can see him going sort of back row.
I think, yeah, but you've got to look at Ireland's loose forwards, and you think to yourself, I mean, how can it get better?
That's true. No, I'm just asking. Just
I
what
mean,
is it?
Recall CJ Stander.
there's even quality on the bench. I mean, you almost couldn't pick realistically. You'd feel gutted for the guy sitting with the number 20 shirt.
When you've got the likes of, Jack Conan, they're absolutely stacked in the back row.
Exactly. But listen, Ireland are stacked. I'm sure it's giving Andy Farrell a headache. But we'll quickly go on some predictions.
Well, that's fine. Don't ask about my experience at the Dam, you absolute ass
Well,
hat.
We're out of time, but
No, I'm just going to brush over it. I thought Edinburgh actually played well, but you could actually see like the second where Leinster just turn up the gears, turn up a notch, and yeah, it was just it's hard to watch. But from a neutral point, it was lovely. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it was a bit of a tough one for Edinburgh.
I got to meet all the boys after the game. All the games. Apart from I might have got a red card offence of Sam Skinner. He's a bit taller than me, so it was proper shoulder to face. But
oh well. Anyway, there's no URC next week, so I guess we'll leave that. And before we go on to previewing the Six Nations, there's a few rugby headlines over the week.
Missed the league. You've missed the league.
Huh?
Super Rugby.
Oh, sorry, there is Super Rugby. My bad. Anyway, we'll quickly just glance over some scores. So first of all, Crusaders absolutely smacked Highlanders
hammering
for 6, 52-15. Hurricanes slightly got over the Rebels there, 39-33. Chiefs put in a number on Mana Pacifica, 52-29. Waratahs dispatched Fiji and Drua, 46-17. 25-20. The Brumbies beat the Blues, and the Reds, the Queensland Reds, beat the Western Force 71-20.
Can I just quickly go back to the Chiefs Pacifica match just for one thing?
Shove in your word.
The fastest try in Super Rugby history happened in that game. Straight from kickoff. Moana Pacifica centre, I don't know his name sadly, went for a nice just pass just to clear it out. Chiefs centre straight in, interception, 8 seconds on the clock. Oh. Actually, not even 8 seconds. I think they broke it down to like 7.7 seconds to be exact.
Yeah, but that's insane.
Only in Super Rugby.
Yeah,
Super Rugby just does the rounds. I wouldn't really know how to approach this. There's smashings, there's tight games.
The Reds one was really stupid because you said the score and they put 70 on the Force. There wasn't a good try at all from the Reds. They were all like blunder and like loose play. Oh, thanks, try, or just like pushovers. Like I'm not like a.
What you just say? Are you saying poor Reds defense or nitty gritty tries?
Just nitty gritty tries. Just a lot of them.
I mean,
nothing wrong with the nitty gritty stuff if it gets you a 71 point.
Listen, if it's a hard work try, I mean, you've bloody deserved the score you've got, especially if you put 70 on them.
It might not be the most champagne rugby.
It just felt very confusing. Like you hear the score and you're like, wow, they must have just ran it in from deep. They didn't, and it was just bizarre. But apart from the one where the winger pulled his hamstring, but still got the try, so fair play, big man.
Anyway, we do have Super Rugby next week.
Yes.
First game, Chiefs versus Highlanders.
Chiefs by 42 because the Highlanders are in the mud.
Chiefs by 50.
Highlanders by 1.
There's always one, isn't
there? Rebels versus Waratahs.
Tars by 15 points.
Yeah, Tars by 6. Yeah, tighter game.
Yeah, Tars by 5. Drua versus Crusaders.
Crusaders by 60, and I'm sorry.
Drua by 3.
Shut up.
Nah, Crusaders by 25.
We'll see you next week, boys.
Hurricanes Blues.
Hurricanes at home. I'll give it to the Canes by 12.
Blues by 3. Just, I think they're not the best right now, but yeah.
Canes by 20. Then we'll put on Brumbies versus Reds.
What a game this is going to be.
Brumbies by 17.
Oh,
No.
what?
No,
It's our first home game of the season.
not a chance.
No.
I'll give it to Brumbies by...
He's just hoping Mac watches this and
Not just Mac. We've got a Brumbies called Nick.
oh, we've got Nick White. Yeah. He's just waiting. He's waiting for all of them now.
Yeah, I'll say Brumbies by a single point.
I'm gonna go.
Go the other direction. Go on, Av.
No, I was still gonna go Brumbies. So I was going Brumbies by 4. Force versus Pacifica.
I'm gonna go Pacifica by 1. I'm gonna go Pacifica by 1. Just I feel like they deserve it. Just yeah.
I was going to go Pacifica as well. I was going to say Pacifica by 7.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was gonna say Pacifica by 3.
Pacifica on 3. 1, 2, 3, break.
Anyway,
That was that.
as I was saying, we did have some news in rugby union this week. So quickly go over it, and I think the big one I want to talk about is the rumours of an Ospreys Ealing merger.
How is that going to work?
So I've read into it, and we'll just quickly talk about it. Obviously, WRU in a bit of a situation. They're looking to maybe even cut a region, and obviously Ealing are in a situation where they can't get promoted to the Premiership due to the RFU's strict rules on promotion criteria. So
you can say stupid, it's okay.
Oh, yeah, sorry, stupid. Anyway, so I guess so. I think what would happen is Ealing's resources they pack up from Ealing and they would basically head over to Ospreys with the players and the money and basically just put the two together. And I think it would stay in South Wales. Now, I guess this is kind of to keep Ospreys afloat, but also to give the Ealing players a new challenge of top level rugby. It's an idiotic idea. It's a bit idiotic of an idea.
Are they going to get called the Ealing Ospreys or the Ospreys Trailfinders?
Oh, well, maybe like the Swansea Trailfinders or something like that,
or here's an idea, and it might be crazy. Don't do it.
No, I mean,
I understand the reasoning behind doing it. I do. It's just not the best way of doing it.
No, and I think obviously both teams are in a spot of bother, and well, to be honest, I think that
Wales is in a spot of bother.
Wales is in a spot of bother, but the only way they can actually get out of that is if the WRU sort their shit out, basically.
Yeah, it's pointless. First off, a merger with an English Championship team and a Welsh URC Pro 14 previous team doesn't make sense.
No.
That's like the Bulls merging with the Eastern Province Elephants or something like that. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, I would just say something from like Namibia or something like that.
Exactly, yeah.
But
it's
anyway, I think logistically it's a confusing task right now. But realistically, the only thing that would benefit both teams without merging is number one for the WRU to sort their shit out, and number two is for the RFU to sort their shit out when it comes to promotion.
Exactly. So all rugby unions just sort your shit out.
Yeah, that's basically the lesson we've got. Lad, have you seen any news over the week?
I've seen some news. You can take it with a pinch of salt. I don't know. It's nothing official yet. It's just like rumored. So apparently there's a shortlist for the new Edinburgh head coach, Lee Blackett, the guy that was in charge of Wasps.
Yeah.
And Steve Diamond is also in there. I don't hate that.
It's interesting seeing as honestly, I thought he might have committed to the new Six Ways Rugby project.
Don't call it Six Ways. That's another thing. Don't call it Six Ways Rugby.
I'm just going off an official name here.
I know. It's but
I thought he might be committed to the project only because he offered to keep pay his own money.
I know. But now he's in the front runners apparently.
It'd be interesting on that note anyway. For if Steve Diamond comes in,
I'm looking at it from two different ways. So if Steve Diamond takes Edinburgh job, Edinburgh's going to be like physical up front. But if
You've
Lee
got the
Beckett,
players for it.
exactly, we've got either way. We've got the players for it. If Lee Beckett takes charge, very high tempo, quick. Don't think about rugby, because even when Wasps weren't great, when they were getting good results, Lee Beckett was in charge, and they did play some nice rugby. So, and I get that the whole Wasp situation wasn't his fault. So,
well, no, exactly. Cam, have you seen anything in the headlines over last week?
A bit more Wales trauma. I'm not sure if I mentioned it last week or not, but it's sort of coming to fruition a bit more. Cardiff are having a bit of a crisis.
Yeah.
With their funds. They're not completely certain whether they will have the funds for enough coaching staff and players to essentially give them contracts next year. And they're looking at solutions such as reducing wages, so players who are on 100,000 sort of pound wages could be looking at cuts down into like 30,000, which, it's just not ideal,
No. Sorry to interrupt. I have got more news, and it is regarding the WRU, but in a positive sense for a change.
Oh Christ, here we go.
They've offered 25 new full-time contracts to the women's team. Great.
That's great.
Oh, I mean, they're getting something, right? Yeah.
I've got a question though. Where did that money come from?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I say that's great and all, but like, where are you finding this money?
I'm not taking anything away from the girls because
our
friend Gwen Crab's got a contract. I mean, Kira Bevan's got a contract. But
are they? The thing is, of course,
what's the quality of these contracts?
But also, I know they'll be wanting to do it, and yes, it is a step in the right direction. Are they financially viable enough to do so?
But that's the thing, you give out these contracts, it's brilliant. But first off, in the long term, are these contracts going to be sustainable? Are you going to be able to say to these women, listen, you've got these contracts locked down. You're not going to have to worry year on, year out whether you're going to have the contracts.
So the interim CEO, Nigel Walker, stated, our stated aim is to put everything in place to create a world-class international programme for women in Wales. The investment we put in to the national programme last year paid clear dividends both on the field in terms of performances and results, and off it in terms of the all-round athlete development service provided within the programme. Again, great. Well done, girls. You deserve it, but where's that money coming from?
Exactly. I mean, it's a tough situation.
The WRU in some state right now, but anyway, we'll talk about Wales in a different way on the field. Next week, it's the return of Six Nations.
Hey!
Anyway, so just to recap, Wales are 6th with 0 points. Italy are 5th with 1 point. France are 4th with 10 points. England are 3rd with 10 points. Scotland are 2nd with 10 points. And Ireland are absolutely smashing the game. They're in 1st with 15 points. They are on for a grand slam. Anyway, so I guess we'll preview some of the games. We'll start off with in chronological order, Italy versus Wales. It's at the Olympico.
No! Don't play in Rome. Sorry. I say this every week, but
I'm sorry. I do think this should just be. I feel like this is going to be a cakewalk for Italy.
Well,
I agree.
Just sticking into how bad it could get if, and obviously it is a big if.
16 points.
If Italy beat Wales by 16 points, Wales fall out of the top 10 in the rankings.
The lowest they'll have ever been. The last time they were in 10th was 2007. They're back there again, and they are. You've got Samoa and Georgia hot on their heels.
I know Gats loves a comeback story, but he didn't have to manufacture the come down himself. But no, if I'm brutally honest, I think I'm not sure how it can get much better for Wales here.
But we've got sad news from Italy because the Prince is out injured.
He is.
Capozzo is injured. He's got a shoulder injury for the rest.
But I don't see that making a difference.
I don't think it makes a difference.
I honestly don't.
Padovani.
Exactly. Put Padovani at fullback.
Padovani will be in, and maybe even you can play Allen in 15 if you really want to.
I was going to say Tommaso Allen fullback, Padovani and Bruno on the wings.
No.
Exactly. So I know, Murray. I know you've got a thing against Rome, and well, not
It's
against
not,
the City.
not
It-
against Rome. I just
Italy
think
playing. It's Italy playing in Rome.
if Italy had a professional team in Rome, fine, go for it. But they don't. Their main assets in rugby is in Treviso and in Parma. So put a stadium there or play near there.
But anyway, listen, it will still be
Italy-
behind. It will still be behind the home crowd, and to be honest, I don't see it going well for.
And let's look at Italy's performance against Italy, France at home. They pushed the two top, not against Ireland and France at home. Pushed the top two teams in the world pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now they're playing Wales.
Yeah, I mean, I see it there. I do think this is going to be.
Say it right. Quickly.
It's going to be a walkover. It's going to be a walkover for Italy.
Should we do our predictions?
Go on, this doesn't sound very walkovery, but I'm going to go Italy by 9.
Okay. Cam.
Italy by 16.
I'm going to go Italy by 17, and they will have a BP.
Okay. We'll move on to the next game. Is England versus France.
La crunch.
I am bricking.
In Twickenham, isn't it?
I am shitting. It is at Twickenham, which gives me a minor bit of hope that we might only lose.
No hope whatsoever.
We might only lose by 24 points to 25.
Oh.
I know. Okay. I think we're obviously in a bit of a weird period right now. I'm not saying it's going bad, but I'm not saying it's going good either. We're in a rebuild stage.
We're on the right track.
We have it's a challenge this week. I mean, it's going to be a challenge. You know, it's our first, as I'll say, real challenge since Scotland. So,
What's that?
Murray, now's not the time.
I'm sorry. I am loving this right now. It's usually the opposite way, and I can't help myself.
Right. If I'm still on here in a year's time, you want me to leave after how much I'm yapping after England beat Scotland by like 50 points or something like
You
that.
say that, and we're going to have another Calcutta Cup, but
Anyway, so yeah, I think this week is Steve Borthwick's really going to have to think about, you know, which toys he can put into the pram.
Team selection this week for England is going to be the real teller.
Important, and I think this is something for me that I've always hated about Eddie Jones. Is
a week
without everything.
Yeah, we did a week without hard mentioning Eddie Jones. Well done.
No. Anyway, this is everything I didn't like in Eddie Jones was team selection, and I think Steve Borthwick, he's got to get it right. And I think...
Sorry, there's one thing that both Steve and Eddie do, and I don't like it. Why do you go, right, here's like 37 training squad on a Monday, and then come a Wednesday, there's like 27. I'm like, oh, I wonder what the team's going to be. Like, it's not really much for the imagination, is it?
It's not a guessing game, Murray. It's a game of rugby.
Yeah, I know, but you know what I mean? Like, why cut it down to 27? Because you're not going to have 27 there. You're going to have.
It's like a reality TV show. It's just every day. It's like
Murray's sitting there sweating.
Every day someone's out.
It's
just there. It's like Anton Deck's just popping out. It's like Hayden. It might.
It might be you. It won't be, but it might be. It should be.
It was actually, yeah. But anyway, team selection is going to be important. And if I'm brutally honest, 3 men we're going to have in there are, for me, Itoje. France going to play physical.
Yeah, I understand that. The breakdown and in defence.
Itoje is one of the best players in the world, I think, at the breakdown.
On his day, yeah. On his day.
But he has quite a few good days, more than often. So
yeah, I know, but I just think that right now Chesham's more important.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like Itoje's not been
Itoje and Chesham, you can play them both together, and I'm more than fine. We've needed a second row for quite a while.
It's like I think Harv said since he joined RCP that it needs to be Itoje and someone, and that's someone.
Yeah, but for me, it's similar with France.
Staple name, and Chesham, I think, is the one.
That's fair.
For me, it's similar with France. Last year, they had Willemse and they had Cameron Walkie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Woki is that flashy lock who gets all the attention, and then Willemse is just that hard worker in defense and at the breakdown. A similar story. You need both sides of the coin.
Exactly, and I think that's what Itoje and Chessum just needs the experience, and I think if he plays every week, then that's that's
100%.
what we're giving.
So who's your top three?
So Itoje,
Yeah.
Lawrence has been a mainstay.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
I can't see an England squad, especially in a physical game like France. You're gonna need Lawrence there. And then I'm actually not sure if he's injured, but if I'm thinking about rivaling France's two centres, but you need a Lawrence and you need a Slade.
Slade's available.
Yeah.
Slade is available.
I think you need if you're thinking about France's centre pairing, they have big physical 12, whoever it may be, and then Gael Fiku, who is he does wonders with the ball, and I think that Henry Slade is probably his best match.
Well, would you put would you shift Slade to 13?
I put Slade in 13 and Lawrence 12. Don't ask me about my 10 because I'm obviously going to be biased, but it's the most.
Yeah, I was going to ask that question. Do you recall Smith?
I think you do, and you place him on the bench.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I would start Farrell.
So,
but
okay, yeah.
I think if it starts going tits up for Farrell, because I don't know what it is. Historically, Farrell is like ice cold off the kicking tee. He is lukewarm right now.
Yeah, I to be honest, the Wales game could have been much more of a margin if Farrell actually hit them.
I think the issue is right now, and it's not a big issue in the grand scheme of things. It's more because Farrell's captain. It's very hard to take him off when it's not going right.
Yeah.
So if he wasn't captain, it would be a lot easier. But he's captain for a reason. Exactly,
but I do think that Borthwick, I was having conversations with my dad about, I say other sports, but it's also that coaches should not be afraid to make the big moves, despite name incentive.
Yeah, I
don't want to lose other sports, but you think about Ten Hag removing Ronaldo from Man United, even though Ronaldo's one of the biggest names in the sport, it shows intent, doesn't it? And that's what I think that I don't think Borthwick should be afraid of. Farrell's one of the biggest names in England rugby history, and I don't think he should be afraid to tell him, listen, I'm going to put you to the side.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's for the best of the team, and as captain, I hope you understand that.
I agree with that.
Anyway,
predictions.
It's back, isn't it? I'm gonna go England by 5. It's at Twickenham, so I'm hoping that we can get a good England crowd behind it.
Okay, Cam.
I'm also gonna go England.
Oh, what?
Cam, I think I love you.
I don't know why, but something just in my bones tells me that it's going to be an England victory, but a slim one by like 3-4 points. But something's just telling me an England victory is coming up.
Cam, I love you. I would kiss you right now if I was.
Harv, what did I tell you at the start of the Six Nations, regarding England? That you could win every game bar our first one, and I wouldn't care. Not like I don't. In my head, I can see you winning this.
Okay.
Because you seem a lot more tighter discipline wise than France have been in the last, especially in the second half.
Well, I do think that France. I do think that France have weak spots. I don't want to compare them to last year's France because they're not.
Last year's France would run away with against us.
Oh, 100%.
But I think Fabian Galtier and more importantly Sean Edwards is now pushing in. Come on, boys, get a grip. So I think my head's saying England by 3, but my heart's saying France by 6. Either way, very tight encounter. So.
Okay, I can agree with that. And we'll go on to the last game. Scotland play Ireland.
Triple Crown.
I said that this would be after the first round, I said this would be the best game of the tournament.
But you also said Scotland France last week was.
But no,
I said Scotland. I
still
said
putting Scotland
last week. I said Scotland France would be hard to top. But before that, I said Scotland Ireland is going to be the best game.
I'm sorry. I do think, regardless of this game, I do still think that Scotland France is.
It was a brilliant game. I think it might be topped.
It might be one of the best games, even if you put the World Cup into it this year.
It's going to be tough, but like,
how you feeling, Murray?
Quietly confident.
Yeah.
But you've got to be nervy though. Surely, I mean,
of course I'm nervy. But
we've just talked about Ireland being absolutely incredible. Just then we were talking about.
But I think there's something clicking with this team. I know we got beat by France, but even getting beat by France, it might benefit us.
Yeah.
Long term. I couldn't really see us going from floundering around to Grand Slam. Kind of need that in the middle bit.
Yeah.
So, I'm very confident. We're at home. It's a whole different ball game at Murrayfield. Sold out. I don't care who you are. It's tough to come to. It's like anywhere in Tier 1. I would love to be there when we win our first Triple Crown since 1990. So the first time in my lifetime. I would love it. I'll probably cry because I'm a big old bitch that way. But I'm confident. I am. I think we can do it. I know the boys know what they can do. Ireland know what they can do. So we might have to change it up a little bit. But I mean, even in the off week, I got to see some of the boys training, and considering there was nothing on that weekend, the effort they were putting in was ridiculous. So, I mean, back your team. So I'm going to leave it short and sweet. I'm going to say Finn's going to do something that we're going to talk about next week. Hugh Jones. You can't sleep on Hugh Jones this, and then you've got obviously the big man on the wing. Doohan, it's going to be special because it looks like Hoggy's 100 caps. It's imminent. It's going to happen. Jamie Ritchie is just, it's all good. Scotland by 5. If it's more, then I can't host next week because I'll lose my voice.
I think Scotland are a steamrolling train, but Ireland are the Eurostar. You know what I mean? They're just. Francis would be very happy at me making that reference. Ireland are just incredible. They're a well-oiled machine. I don't want to disregard how good Scotland are because they are very good. But I just think Ireland have that something special. I even said before, I think I said in before the Six Nations that Ireland win the Grand Slam. So I'm going to back that up and I'm going to say Ireland by 9.
What I will say is that I think for Scotland need to take a lot of inspiration from Italy last week and see that how Ireland sort of, when getting challenged and sort of met face to face with Italy playing with that sort of passion at home, they sort of did go into their shell a bit more. Scotland at the moment being, in my obviously a more clinical team than Italy, the state that they're in. You know, if you can really get that passion at home, you can get the crowd behind you, you can meet Ireland face to face and get them to sort of go into their shell a bit like they did against Italy for a while. I think then if you strike it, I do think Scotland can win this game. I honestly think this is a very winnable game for Scotland, and I'd like to see it because I don't want to see Ireland win the Grand Slam. I'm sorry.
You are so. Where's this come from?
Oh mate, I just.
It's all the box going across to Ulster and Munster.
It might be. To be fair, it might be.
Yeah, but listen, I want to see Scotland win. I want Scotland by 5 points at home.
Same as me. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. But anyway, we'll round off.
What's your prediction?
Oh, I said it. Ireland by 9.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. We'll round off with possibly actually, before we go,
best segment.
We'll go for the best segment. But I forgot to mention we also had sevens this week. We won't drool over it for too long. However,
Argentina and the Black Ferns.
Argentina emerged victorious over France, 33-22, and the Black Ferns also took a W in Canada. Now, our favourite section of the week. I will let Murray go first?
Well, it's not random. Well, I don't think it's random because you've kind of already dwelled on it. And it was at the Canada Sevens. And it's for the second week in a row I've mentioned this team with an upset. Uruguay Sevens have beat Fiji this week.
I'd say their second most historic win against Fiji. The first most being the 2019 World Cup win against Fiji.
Yeah, but
this one
on sevens.
In sevens, where Fiji are genuinely top 3 any year, pretty much.
And you know what made it funnier? Well, a bit sweeter. And this tells you how bonkers sevens is. So earlier in the day, Uruguay beat Fiji 17-14, and then GB Sevens beat Uruguay 45-5.
Yeah,
Wait.
how's that happen?
But yeah, that's my random. Actually, I'll do another one just because it wasn't so random. The Rugby Europe Cup was on, and Germany got a win.
I was going to say, my favourite. We missed it.
You're slacking. That's okay.
Deutschland.
It's fine.
My second.
Yeah, Rugby Europe Championship. Portugal beat Spain.
Way.
I was really annoyed by that because I wanted to hang up my Spanish jersey in the back.
Yeah, no, don't do that. Anyway, so the final will be Portugal-Georgia, which I believe is in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, one-sided affair.
Third place will be Spain and Romania. Anyway, Cam.
My random game of the week comes from my guilty pleasure of a league, the MLR. I know Murray doesn't like it. I don't know your opinion on it, Harv, but it is my guilty pleasure because I think it's just a bunch of fun. My sort of adopted team from the MLR, Houston Sabercats, getting a very tit-for-tat win over San Diego Legion, 31-26. And the game was just back and forth. Both teams firing shots. And the Sabercats coming out with 2 tries in the last 10 minutes to steal the win from San Diego Legion.
Well, boys, I have an absolute wonder of a random game of the week. I'll bring to France. I'll bring to France.
Oh,
I'll bring you to La Nationale.
Oh,
French rugby. Rennes beat Cognac 14-13.
Okay.
Yeah, remain at the bottom, and Rennes are 1 place above them. But with that win, they move closer to relegation safety. Good luck.
Dogfight at the bottom of the pile this week.
Exactly. Good luck to Rennes. Anyway, that was Rugby Connection podcast. You were with us for Club Rugby, Six Nations, Rugby Europe Champion, everything. We've got everything, man. Anyway, we would like to say, obviously, a massive thank you to Looseheadz for supplying us with these shirts and hopefully we can spread the message. Please check out their website for more details, and you can actually pick up some of these t-shirts. They are lovely quality. I've actually
quality. Really,
I've actually not stopped wearing mine.
I've just realised it's very similar to our logo, so it's kind of like merch for us as well.
It's perfect.
Yeah. But you can pick up, and all proceeds will go towards hopefully giving rugby clubs resources to tackle the stigma. #tackle the stigma. You will join us next week as we go over, obviously, the amazing Six Nations week that has just happened, with hopefully an English win in there. Anyway,
the first couple times since 1990.
Anyway, thank you for joining us. This was the Rugby Connection podcast. Please do follow us on all our socials. We're on Twitter, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're on everything. Please do follow Murray at Best Rugby HQ. Please follow Cam at Camo Safa, and we will join you next week. See yous.